Yeah, you
absolutely.
seem like you've gotten really in touch. Like, I don't know you prior, but it seems like you're pretty good with your emotions and you're all right with being vulnerable.
Yeah, listen, you hit it on the head. Like, I used alcohol and drugs to stop having to feel anything.
Yeah.
And when I got sober, it was like, wait a minute, like, I need a new solution. So, like, people always say, like, oh, my problem was alcohol and drugs. Like, no. That was my problem was me.
Yeah.
My fear, my worry, my anxiety, my selfishness, my self-pity, my jealousy, my envy. I can name them. I say them every single morning. I know what my defects are.
Damn.
But I had to see, like, so alcohol and drugs were the solution. When I had a fear, I drank a drug. And I'm not going to lie, it worked. So it's funny. It's like there was this imaginary line. Drinking and drugging was fun. I was able to talk to the girl who I couldn't talk to when I was nervous. That was the liquid elixir, right?
Yeah.
But there was this imaginary line. I can't tell you exactly when, but when I stepped over it and when it became a demand, like I couldn't get out of bed without it. I couldn't live a normal functioning life without it. That's when it became hell. So I get sober, right? And now I don't have, so like I got fear, I got worry, I got all those defects.
Now you
but
gotta
what do I
stare
do
at
with
it?
it?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it turns out I'm one of the most, I'm man enough to say I'm one of the most sensitive, ask my girl, I'm one of the most sensitive people out there. I just didn't know it because there was a mask there.
mask.
Or maybe I did know, like you said, oh, I didn't even know. Before we hopped on, you were talking about anxiety. I don't even know if I knew I was anxious. I didn't think I had anxiety. Well, when you're always drunk or high, it's kind of hard to ever see that, right?
Yep.
All of a sudden, you start peeling back the layers without that, and you're like, wow, like, what is this I'm feeling? It's anxiety, it's fear, it's worry. So I don't think the AA book and the 12 steps, like, that shit would be good for anybody. I'm telling you. The only difference between you and I, though, is it might help you, but you don't need it. Without it, I'm going back. And I know what happens when I go back. I'm going to die. That's just my fate.
That's just a tool. Whether or not somebody needs that tool, like you need it, you say you're going to go back. Maybe somebody doesn't need it, but they could use it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, maybe that's something somebody takes away from this episode right now is tapping into that. Whether they have a substance abuse problem or not, there's a process that people find value in. Maybe it applies to practical life or practical use for somebody else. It's just that little recipe. Sprinkle a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, I took from Dave Seidenberg. I took from this one. I took from that one. Maybe I take that. Maybe I sprinkle it on.
There's some different like feelings with people who don't know about AA and like what it is, if it's culty, if it's this, if it's that. All it is a bunch of different self-improvement methods that they combined into one. So there's religious aspects, there's spiritual aspects. But if you actually read the book, it like specifically tells you like, it's not one religion. Go do you. Find what religion.
So it's
Maybe it's
kind of
not
like
religion.
the Modern Man's podcast.
You want to pray to the lamp right here? Pray to it, man. If that's what you got to do it.